What is going on, you guys? It is your boy Matt Talks Films, and I am back with another video. And I'm back with a very special video indeed, because this video right here is the accumulation of what was a brilliant year of film in the year 2025. That's right, you probably guessed it, and you can probably see by the thumbnail. I'm talking about the 98th annual Oscar Award ceremony taking place this upcoming Sunday, March 14th. What a day that will be. I cannot wait for that because this Oscars is incredibly stacked. 2025 was one of the greatest years of film in my lifetime. We got great film after great film after great film, and great theater experience after great theater experience after great theater experiences. 2025 had a lot of career bests from filmmakers, from actors, you can name it. Any position in the film industry, there was a lot of career bests taking place in the year 2025. And that is very telling through the ceremony and all the categories and all the nominations. I cannot wait for this event Sunday. I can't wait to sit down, have a drink, and just take in this event because it is a glorious one, especially this year. I cannot wait. But in this video, for now, I am predicting the Oscars this upcoming Sunday. That means I'm going over specific categories and predicting who will win. But not only will I be predicting who will win, I will also say who I think should win in case my prediction doesn't line up with who I think should win. So, I can't wait for that. Can't wait to get into that. But also, I will be finally giving you guys my top 10 best films of 2025 list. Finally, after giving you guys my top 10 worst films of 2025 list first, now I get to give you my best list of 2025. So, there's a lot taking place in this video, but strap in, buckle up. If you want to hear all my opinions about everything I just said, leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe right here, right now. Matt Talks Films on YouTube, and follow me everywhere at Matt Talks Films, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter for more short form content like this. Now, we aren't starting off with Oscar stuff first. We are starting off with my top 10 best films of 2025 list. I finally saw Sentimental Value. I finally saw The Secret Agent over the past week, and now I feel like I'm able to give you guys a great list. So, let's get into it. But before I get into my top 10, let me give you guys some honorable mentions about the films that just missed my top 10 on the year prior to 2026 and 2025. So, let's get into it. My first honorable mention, that would technically be 15 on my list if this was a top 15 list. Instead, it's a top 10 list. I have Superman. James Gunn's Superman at 15, and also on my number 5 honorable mention for this list. One of the best superhero movies I've seen in a very long time. Listen, I've been shitting on Marvel and superhero movies as a whole recently, and this film just made me realize how much of a geek I am and how much I'm yearning for great superhero films, and this was a great superhero film. James Gunn did his thing. David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan were terrific in this film. Amongst the great romantic chemistries we've seen all year, Corenswet and Brosnahan's chemistry in this film is amongst my favorite. I love the chemistry in this film. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor is great. Just a great film, fun, funny. I saw it about 4 times in theaters. I absolutely love James Gunn's Superman. I can't wait to see where DC is heading after this film. At number 14 on my list, and number 4 on my honorable mention, just missing out on the top 10, I have Begonia. Yorgos and Emma Stone link up yet again, and they make another banger. I love this film. I am shocked that Jesse Plemons is at least nominated for Best Actor at this year's Oscars. That is shocking to me. He was so brilliant as Teddy in this film. A really great film. I've seen this film about 3 times now. Terrific, terrific, terrific. I love this film. I thought Emma Stone is great as well. One of the most difficult roles she's probably had to play in a while. Michelle Fuller, she's really great. I knew what the twist was going to be, and I wasn't like the biggest fan of the ending, but I understood why the ending was what it was. And honestly, Emma Stone would probably be winning this award if it wasn't for Rose Byrne, if it wasn't for Jessie Buckley and Hamnet. So shout out to Emma Stone. This year she's not going to get a 3rd Oscar, Emma Stone, but she's probably going to get it relatively soon, probably in the next year or so. She deserves that 3rd Oscar. My 3rd honorable mention is probably really high for a lot of other people, but man, I'm a man that yearns for really great rom-coms. And I thought Eternity, starring Miles Teller, Elizabeth Olsen, Callum Turner, and Divine Joy Randolph, was that. I love this film. Just a great film about love. I loved Eternity. This will most likely be a film I rewatch quite a bit. I just love it. I'm a man that yearns for romanticism. Just keep that in mind. So, that just misses out on my top 10 at 13. My 4th honorable mention is a film that's nominated for Best Picture, The Secret Agent. I love this film. What a film to think about. This film has a classical film that is really overwhelming, and Wagner Moura has a terrific performance. I would not be shocked at all if he won Best Actor this year at the Oscars. The last hour of this film really gave me a whole bunch of goosebumps. I love the film's ending. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed the first hour or so of this film, but the last hour of this film was what made me fall in love with the film. The opening scene of this film is super suspenseful as well, and it perfectly introduces us into what we are currently about to get into. And it perfectly introduces us to what Brazil was at this point in time. The mystery, the ambiguity, the neatness of this film is astounding. The atmosphere, the ambiance, the look of this film is incredible. I want to rewatch this film as soon as possible. It might get a 5-star down the line. It got a 4.5 as of right now, but the mixture of fiction, reality, surrealism here is awesome. The Harry Foot stuff was awesome. Honestly, a great symbolism for what Brazil was actually going through at the time. I love that. Wagner Moura is incredible, and he really is one of the great working actors that we have currently in film. Terrific, terrific film. The more I think about this film, the more I love it, and the more likely I'm probably going to give this film a 5 out of 5, and the more likely it's going to move up my list as time goes on. But it just barely missed my top 10 on the year. And so did this film. My final honorable mention for the year 2025 before we get into my top 10 list. I have Blue Moon, directed by Richard Linklater. We'll get into it soon, so I won't say too much, but I think Ethan Hawke as Lorenz Hart is one of the most slept on performances I've seen in the past 5 years. He is terrific as Lorenz Hart. He could have easily came off as annoying in this film. Instead, he's not. He is captivating. He is funny. He is morally layered. He's a fascinating man, and Ethan Hawke plays the character of Lorenz Hart tremendously. Margot Qualley is tremendous in this film. Super captivating cinematic presence that she has. I love the filmmaking of Richard Linklater as always. Just a terrific, terrific film that takes place in one place and is just following one character for the most part. And it could come off as deathly boring or annoying, and it doesn't come off as either of those things. It's a sign of great writing, it's a sign of great storytelling, it's a sign of great filmmaking, and most importantly, it's a sign of great performances. I absolutely loved Blue Moon. I love the Bar of Sardi's. Bobby Cannavale is terrific in this film. I loved it. This film filled me up with warmth, it made me laugh, and first and foremost, it made me smile, and it really made me ponder. I love this film. It really made me think about quite a lot of things. Comparison amongst peers in your field, a whole bunch of stuff that I won't get into right now, but man, oh man, I wish I reviewed Blue Moon. Terrific, terrific, terrific film. Now, let's get into my top 10 films of 2025. At number 10, a film I just saw this week, Angrily So, because I didn't have a chance to see this in theaters when it first came out. It wasn't released near me, but luckily Regal has been showing the Best Picture nominations of the past week or so, and I got to see Joachim Trier's Sentimental Value, and my oh my, I won't say too much. Didn't give it a 5 out of 5, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5, but keep in mind, the majority of the films on this list are either a 4.5 or a 5. I will let you know when it changes to 5, but man oh man. This is another film where you think about more and more and more, and it just gets better and better and better. I'm shocked and give this a 5 out of 5. I just thought some parts just didn't emotionally affect me as much as I would want. I thought some parts were just a little bit slow, but really there's no flaws to this film. There's a quote in this film that I love so much. Someone said praying isn't really talking to God, it's acknowledging despair. There's so many more quotes like that. It's a brilliantly written film, and Joachim Trier truly, truly is one of the great filmmakers we have. This film was about trauma, fractured family relationships, and confronting the truth while also trying your hardest to forgive and move on with your life. I love the themes that play here. Beautiful performances as well. Elle Fanning is great. I love every performance in this film. A lot of standout performances in this film. Stellan Skarsgård. I mean, there's so many great performances in this film. And the more and more I watch her, and the more and more I soak in all of her performances, I am a huge, huge, huge fan of this particular Norwegian actress. And I think everyone should be as well. But if you aren't, you should be now. I absolutely love Renate Reinsve. She is terrific. She's beautiful. But she gives some of the most humane performances you will ever see. She's terrific in Worst Person in the World, and she's very terrific here as well. If it wasn't for the Best Actress category being so stacked, yet so one-sided, she might win the award. If it wasn't for Rose Byrne or Jessie Buckley in Hamnet, she probably wins the award. She's going to win one regardless one day. She was great in Worst Person in the World, great in Sentimental Value, and she's just due for an Oscar at this point. She is terrific. There's a whole lot of other performances in this film that I love, but we will be talking about this film very soon as we get into the Oscars talk. But man, I love Sentimental Value, and it's one of the most humane and sentimental and affectionate films of the year, while also being one of the most harrowing films of the year emotionally. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I just wish it connected to me a little bit more emotionally. At number 9, every film from here on out is a 5 out of 5. I love every film from here on out, so the margins for error aren't really that big. But at number 9, I have Clint Bentley's Train Dreams. Dude, I wish this came out in theaters near me. This is the most beautiful film of the year, and Joel Edgerton as Robert Grenier doesn't get enough credit. He is terrific in this film. One of the most humane performances of the year. I know I just said that for Renata, but he is terrific here. Terrific. Felicity Jones as well. There's so many great performances. William H. Macy as Arn Peoples, terrific as well. This film is beautiful. I remember I saw this film at like 12 o'clock at night, ended around 2 a.m. in the morning. It is pure perfection, just absolutely breathtaking. There really isn't any other way to put it. You really can't say any film has looked any better this year as well. I mean, there's at least one award this film is going to win. And I think that's going to be Best Cinematography, which we will get into very soon. This film is poetic, and it is innately humane while also being a great time period picture. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Trauma, how to cope. Will life get better after these traumatic events? So many things at play. Great storytelling, narratively, and the performances, specifically Joel Edgerton, is perfect. Joel Edgerton doesn't get enough credit for how great of an actor he is. He is perfect here, and he should have been nominated for Best Actor, but we'll get into that soon. What a performance. If there ever was a film that adapted Red Dead Redemption 2, in case you guys didn't know that's a video game, and they needed someone to play Arthur Morgan, it would be Joel Edgerton. Especially after watching the performance. He is terrific. This is one of the best films of the year, and it's rightfully nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. I love this film. At number 8, a film I saw 5 to 7 times throughout the year 2025, it's Ryan Coogler's Sinners. Probably way too low for some people, but I love this film. I mean, how can you not? Listen, is it very, very, very similar to Dusk Till Dawn? Yes, but it's also a way better movie than Dusk Till Dawn. That's just how I feel about it. The performances are terrific. Even though I don't think Michael B. Jordan should win Best Actor at the Oscars this year, he is very good in it. Miles Canton, Haley Steinfeld, Jack O'Connell, Wanumi Mosoku, Jamie Lawson. I mean, terrific performance after terrific performance. Don't forget Delroy Lindo as Delta Slim. I love this film. It is a vampire film, but it also is so much more than that. And those are the parts of this film I think I love the most. Don't get me wrong, I'm a freak. I love horror. I love vampire shit. But the best parts of this film is when it's about culture, when it's about music. I love those aspects of this film. I love the first hour of this film, just soaking in this culture, surrounding ourselves with these people, going on this road trip when everything is nice and dandy. And I love the end credit scene of this film. The more and more I watch this film, at first I wasn't a huge fan of it. I love the end credit scene when we get to hear from Sammy Moore as a grown man and years removed from the event. I love that so much. This film probably has the scene of the year. That scene where we get music from different cultures and through the years. That scene is terrific every time. I will never forget where I was for that scene. So Sinners is rightfully nominated for Best Picture, and it might win. And this film might win for Best Actor, but really, in my opinion, it shouldn't. But that's my number 8. At number 7, above Sinners, I have Weapons, Zach Cregger's film. The praise that Sinners is getting should also apply to Weapons. Weapons is one of the best films of the past 5 years. It is one of the most intense theater experiences I've ever had in my life. It's such an interactive film, but it's also a horror film that is narratively told in a way that you really don't get in horror films. Zach Cregger is a fucking monster as a filmmaker and one of the best filmmakers that we have right now. I've seen this film about 4 to 5 times. I love this film. I love how the story is told. I love how we bounce from different character to different character. And I think the performances are very, very, very great. Julia Gardner, Josh Brolin, Alden Ehrenreich, Austin Abrams, who is not nominated for an Oscar this Oscar ceremony. Pretty wild. But Amy Madigan as Gladys that is definitely deserved. But this film doesn't get enough credit. It is one of the best horror films of the past 5 years. And in my opinion, it's a more interesting film than Sinners. But I love both films. So, not much margin for error, not much flaws for either of these films. And a lot of these films are right up my alley, specifically Sinners and Weapons. I love Weapons. It should get a lot more credit than it did. and I'm surprised it's not nominated for more awards at this Oscars. At number 6, a film I'm very surprised didn't get nominated for at least one thing, Danny Boyle's 28 Years Later. This film should be nominated like 2 to 3 categories. If I had to pick, Ray Fiennes should be nominated as supporting actor as well, but he isn't. But Danny Boyle's 28 Years Later, it was the first time I reviewed on this channel. I've seen it 9 times, maybe even 10 to 11 in less than a year. I love this film. I love it. I love it. I love it. It shell shocked me to my core. It's a riveting film. It's much more than a zombie film. It's very similar to Sinners, where yes, it's a zombie film, and yes, it strives as a zombie film, and yes, Sinners strives as a vampire film. But man, oh man, the substance is incredible, and you really don't see that kind of substance in films similar to this one. I love 28 Years Later. Jodie Comer is great. Aaron Taylor Johnson, Alfie Williams, Ray Fiennes, Jack O'Connell. Terrific, terrific, terrific film. And I think it doesn't get a lot of credit. It's a very divisive film, but man, I'm on the right side of history here. One of the best films of 2025. And if this was my favorites list, it would probably be my favorite film of 2025. But this is my best of 2025 list. At number 5, we are entering the top 5 now. I have Hamnet. It is one of the most emotionally devastating films I've ever seen in my life. And it's so beautiful. It really is beautiful. Not only is Paul Mescal as Will Shakespeare in this film terrific, Joel Alwyn is terrific as Bartholomew, Jacoby Joop as Hamnet, and Noah Jupe as Hamlet is terrific as well. Jacoby Joop is absolutely insane in this film. But obviously, Jessie Buckley's Agony, which we will get into very soon, is so shockingly great in this film. This film kind of transcends the art of film. It is really an incredible film about grief, trauma, and moving on. And a lot of people use art to move on and to get over their grief, get over their trauma. And I think this film beautifully demonstrates that in its last act. I love this film, and I'm shocked a lot more people didn't love this film as much as I did. Yes, it's not made for Best Picture, but I see a lot of people shitting on this film, especially on Twitter, X as you might call it. But this film is terrific, little to no flaws, a film that shocked me and shocked my core and made me sob in the movie theater. And I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's terrific. I think it's one of the best films of the past 5 years. Absolutely insane filmmaking, great costume design, and first and foremost, just a terrific film with amazing performances. Career best from Paul Mescal, career best from Jacoby Joop's young career best from Noah Jupe, and career best from Jessie Buckley, and she will get rewarded for that this Sunday. At number 4, a film that was seemingly blacklisted from the Oscars this year, I have Eddington, directed by Ari Aster, a masterpiece. And I compare this film ever so slightly to Do the Right Thing. It wasn't acknowledged, yet it was nominated at the Oscars. But I think the importance of this film and how brilliant this film was will be seen in the next 5 years or so. Because I really think this film is timely, I think it's telling, and it holds the perfect mirror, yet broken mirror, to what society was in the year 2020. And I don't think people were necessarily ready for that yet. And I think a lot of people consider this film biased storytelling from Ari Aster. I just don't see that. I just look at it as honest storytelling from Ari Aster. The performances are great. Joaquin Phoenix, who I'm surprised didn't get a nomination, but seemingly this film is blacklisted at the Oscars. Emma Stone is great. Pedro Pascal is great. This great performance and terrific storytelling. A film that really, really makes you do a whole retrospect of where you were in the year 2020. It has perfect satire. Terrific film, so funny, but yet harshly real. I love this film so much. Now we get into the top 3. Another film that wasn't nominated at the Oscars this year, probably because of Park Chan-wook. He broke the strike. He filmed during the strike. No other choice. I mean, what the hell? I mean, just an utterly beautiful film and sensational one. And I really can't get over the fact that this film isn't nominated for anything. I just can't. I really can't. It's baffling to me. I know Park Chan-wook broke rules and he red-coded, but I don't care. This film is that good. And the performances and what is at stake in this film, the substance matter, what this film is trying to say is incredibly potent to me, and it really made me just feel something very strongly. Lee Young-un is one of the best performances of the year. He is so terrific in this film, so polarizing. He's such a morally conflicting character while also being an incredibly relatable character. He's someone that's suffering in the AI era. He's struggling to get a job. He's willing to do whatever, even that means taking out his own competition and potentially killing them. A terrific film. This film has one of the funniest scenes of all time when Lee Young Hun is holding someone at gunpoint while that person is just blasting music in their room. I died laughing. The filmmaking and specifically the cinematography is absurd. The camera work here is insane. There are so many interesting things done in this film. It was really a great display of creative versatility. The score and the soundtrack is awesome. My God. I really love how this film touches on the dehumanizing nature of AI at its end. A part of me did think this film maybe overstayed its welcome just a little bit, but to me, the ending made up for the tad bit long runtime. Brilliant story, beautifully capped off with this ending. I'm surprised this isn't nominated at the Oscars. Really shocking. I understand why it isn't, because Park Chan-wook did what he did, but it's that good. I love this film to death, and I can't wait to see it again. I've only seen it once. It hasn't come out on streaming. I got to saw it in theaters, thank God, but the minute I can see this film, illegally or legally, I will be watching it again. At number 2, we are reaching the top 2. I have Marty Supreme, directed by Josh Safdie. And I think this film would be more in the Best Picture talk if it wasn't for the controversy Josh Safdie has got himself into recently. But I won't talk about that in this video. But Marty Supreme is great. It just is great. And I will talk about Marty Supreme more and more and more as we get into this video when we talk about certain categories at the Oscars this weekend. But Timothée Chalamet gives the best performance of this year as Marty Mauser. Gwyneth Paltrow is great. Odessa Zion, Kevin O'Leary, Tyler the Creator, Fran Drescher. Great performance after great performance. An amazing cast. So distinct in every character. New actors, young actors, veteran actors. Josh Safdie and the casting director did his thing here. The editing is great. Cinematography is great. And first and foremost, the story is great. It's really about the pursuit of greatness. Pursuing your dream from the perspective of Marty Mauser. But yet he's such a morally conflicting character and most likely just a bad guy. But at the end of the day, you're still rooting for him. You're still hoping he accomplishes his dream. But also you're hoping that he finally realizes what life is about and what his life should be. And at the end of this film, he does. And it's a beautiful moment. I love this film. I just love it. When you are able to make the audience root for a guy that's morally corrupt or morally divisive, and you make the audience root for him, like this film seemingly does, it's terrific. A ping pong film is this thrilling, enthralling, funny, thoughtful, passionate, and ambitious. Who said people don't care about ping pong? Because this film grossed over $200 million at the box office. It's one of the best roller coaster rides of the year, and I think it deserves way more credit. You want to get physical like an ape? I love this film so much. Chalamet is great, great, great here, and Josh Safdie is equally as great. Just a terrific film. Can't get over it. But at number 1 for my best films of 2025 list, a man who should win the best director, a film that should win the best picture, and don't be surprised if Sean Penn and Leonardo DiCaprio walk away with awards. I have one battle after another. I rewatched this for the first time last night at home. I saw it 3 times in theaters. For the 4th time, I was able to watch it at home for the first time. What a film. What an odyssey. A film that feels like a classic. Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, 2 of the greatest actors that ever walked the face of this earth, just go insane. Sean Penn as Stephen Lockjaw is terrific. Leonardo DiCaprio as Bob gives one of his most difficult performances of his career. Paul Thomas Anderson, this feels like a film where he should win Best Picture, and he will win Best Picture, and he's finally due, and he's finally going to get the award. But Teyana Taylor's Perfidia is incredible. She was only in this film for about 30 minutes or so, but yet her parts in this film might be the most memorable. Not only is her cinematic presence one of the best cinematic presences I've ever seen in my life, it's just oozing from the screen, but her performance is equally as good as her cinematic presence. She is terrific in this film. I love Teyana Taylor in this film, and she might get the Best Supporting Actress Oscar for this film as well. We even had like Tony Goldwyn in this film, who's great, Jim Downey, who's great. This cast is stacked. Regina Hall as Deandra is great as this film as well. She doesn't get enough credit. Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another is a masterpiece, and it's one of his best films of his career. There are so many great fucking quotes from this film. and they call us savages. Lockjaw got his dick dirty. He needs to clean it. You go to the dance. You make an effort. You put on more makeup. This is the way Sean Penn delivers that line is terrific. There's so many more quotes. Sure, Bob is a stoned, inept, washed-up revolutionary who seemingly lost his ways. But god damn it, he is a great father. And I love this film a lot. Johnny Greenwood's score is terrific as well, and it should probably win Best Score, the Best Original Score at the Oscars this year. One battle after another. That's the best film of 2025, in my opinion, and that is my list. So, just a quick recap. At number 10, I have Sentimental Value, Train Dreams at number 9, Sinners at number 8, Weapons at number 7, 28 Years Later at number 6, Hamnet at number 5, Eddington at 4, No Other Choice at 3, Marty Supreme at 2, and number 1, One Battle After Another. What a stacked year. And there's probably some films you're thinking about that should have made the top 10, but it was that stacked of a year. In my opinion, I have great taste, and that's my top 10. So, that is my best of 2025 list. Hopefully, you agree with it. And if you disagree with it, let me know in the comments what your top 10 is. And let me know what film I'm bugging out for putting in my top 10. So, that is it for my best of 2025 list. Now, let's move on to the big freaking thing in this video, which is the 98th Oscars. And that's what I'm here to talk about. And let's get into it right the fuck now, because it is a big Sunday. This is the Super Bowl of art. This is the Super Bowl of film. Can't wait to talk about this Sunday and the specific categories I will be talking about. Now, I won't be talking about every category. I want to talk about the categories that I'm best versed in. So that is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now, I won't make this video super long, but I will try to fully get my point across and not make things too complicated. So there's 13 categories I will be predicting. There are 13 categories that if I don't agree with the prediction that I have, that I will say who I think should win. So stick around and hopefully you agree with me more than you disagree, and hopefully you don't think I'm an idiot. So let's get into it. I think the first one that we have to get out of the way is the original score. Here are the nominees: Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. What a goddamn stacked category. And I feel like I'm going to say that for every category moving forward. But here's how I'd rank this category 1 through 5. At number 5, I would have Begonia. Number 4, I would have Frankenstein. Number 3, I'd have Hamnet. And number 2, I have Sinners. And number 1, I have One Battle After Another, Johnny Greenwood. Now, that's what I would have, but I have a feeling it's going to be Sinners taking the win here. And that's not a robbery at all. Ludwig Göransson's score in Sinners is one of the biggest takeaways from the film. It's a beautiful original score, but in my opinion, Johnny Greenwood's score for One Battle After Another is one of the most unique amplifiers for any film of the past 5 years. The score for One Battle After Another is goddamn terrific, and I'm struggling to find different ways to really say how great that score is, but there's something about Johnny Greenwood's score that just constantly lurks in the best way possible in every scene, and it's not used too much, and it amplifies every scene perfectly. It's beautifully curated, but it's probably going to be Sinners winning this award. But if I had to give this award to one of the nominees, it would be Johnny Greenwood for One Battle After Another. So I wouldn't be surprised if One Battle After Another won it, but I'm going to assume it's going to be Ludwig Göransson winning for Sinners, which isn't a robbery at all. But that's what I have for original score. I have Sinners winning, but I would give it to Johnny Greenwood for One Battle After Another. Moving on to the next category. I'm not going to do the Best International Film category because I've only seen 2 out of the 5 films in that category, so I will be skipping that. Next category I will be talking about is editing. Here is how I would rank the category of editing at this year's Oscars. At number 5, I would have F1. Number 4, I'd have Marty Supreme. Number 3, I'd have Sinners. Number 2, I have Sentimental Value. And number 1, I would have One Battle After Another. And this is really a toss-up. And I think One Battle After Another will win this award because editing is one of the greatest things about that film. How it goes place to place, so effortlessly, so seamlessly. I love the editing of One Battle After Another. And I think it's the best editing of all year. And it will get the award for Best Editing at the Oscars. I can't wait to see how this category turns out because it is a stacked one. And honestly, the most underrated editing in this category has to be Sentimental Value because that film is edited together perfectly. I love the editing of that film. So Moving on, I think One Bad After Another should win it, and I think it will win it. That is my prediction, and that is my pick personally. Moving on to costume design, I think this is the only award that Avatar Fire and Ash is nominated for. Here are the nominees for this category: Avatar Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and Sinners. This is a tough one. A really, really, really tough one. Here's how I'd rank it. At number 5, I would have Avatar Fire and Ash. Number 4, I would have Sinners. Number 3, I would have Marty Supreme. Number 2, I would have Hamnet. And number 1, I'd probably give it to Frankenstein. I was not a big fan of Frankenstein, but the costume design is probably the strongest thing about that film other than Jacob Elordi's performance and the great production design of that film. I think Frankenstein is probably going to win this award, if not Hamnet. So my prediction is Frankenstein, and who I think this award should go to is Frankenstein. So that's what I have for costume design. A tough category, but I think Frankenstein is going to win that award pretty easily, as I would say. Moving on to cinematography. These are the 5 nominees: Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. What a category. Here's how I would rank it. At number 5, I would have Frankenstein. Number 4, I have Marty Supreme. Number 3, I'd have Sinners. Number 2, I have One Battle After Another. And number 1, I have Train Dreams. Train Dreams is one of the most beautiful looking films I've ever seen in my life, and that's thanks to a lot of things, but mostly it's due to the cinematography. Just a beautiful looking film, one of the best looking films you will ever see. Every scene just looks beautiful. I love the poetry and art of this film. The cinematography in Train Dreams advances that story so much. It elevates the story so much. It is one of the great amplifiers of the year. Train Dreams should win this award pretty easily. I think Train Dreams is going to win this award. That's why I predict. And I also would give it to Train Dreams as well. So I think Train Dreams wins Best Cinematography at this upcoming Oscars. Now we move on to casting. What an interesting category. Here are the nominees: Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, and Sinners. What a category. This is pretty insane. This is hard to rank as well, but here is how I would rank it. At number 5, this is crazy to me because Sinners is such a great film. I gave it a 5 out of 5. It was one of the best films of the past 5 years. Truly inventive. But man, I don't know here. Alright, at number 5, I'd have Sinners. Number 4, I have The Secret Agent. Number 3, I have Marty Supreme. Number 2, I have Hamnet. And number 1, I have One Battle After Another. I just think, listen, The Secret Agent might deserve to be higher because there are so many distinct characters in that film, but I think Marty Supreme might have more distinct characters and distinct castings in that film. There's a lot of interesting side characters, a lot of interesting side castings. Hamnet is just so beautifully casted. Everyone in this film looks like they belong in the era that this film takes place. Same could be said for The Secret Agent. But One Battle After Another, I mean, Sean Penn as this Stephen Lockjaw, who is just terrifically casted. Leonardo DiCaprio as this stone inept, washed-up revolutionary. Tiana Taylor as Perfidia. Regina Hall in an interesting role, not really accustomed to her career. One Battle After Another is one of the most uniquely casted films. The rest of these films are beautifully casted, and they are rightfully nominated, but I think One Battle After Another is going to win this award. I would not be surprised if Hamnet wins this award, though. I predict One Battle After Another is going to win this award this upcoming Sunday, but I would not be surprised if Hamnet wins this award as well. But I would give the award to One Battle After Another, and I think that's who's going to win this award. But keep in mind, Hamnet, everyone who's casted in this film looks like they belong when this film is taking place, which is a compliment and such a hard task to do. So even though that's the case, I think One Battle After Another should win this award, and I'm pretty sure they are going to win the award. And that's who I'd give the award to. So moving on to the next category, we have Original Screenplay. Here are the nominees: Sinners, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, It Was Just an Accident, and Blue Moon. Now, I regret to inform you I haven't seen It Was Just an Accident. I know, throw tomatoes at me, make me feel like shit. I haven't seen It Was Just an Accident. It didn't get released near me, and I'm having a hard time finding it on streaming. Hopefully, I'm able to find it this week before Sunday because I do want to see it and I do want to watch it. I heard it's incredible. So excluding It Was Just an Accident, here is how I would rank this category. At number 4, I have Blue Moon, a terrific screenplay. It is so goddamn neat. It is so tight-knit and it is so captivating. Such a hard screenplay to pull off, but yet it's pulled off effortlessly due to the great performance of Ethan Hawke. but in my opinion, the three above it probably deserve it just slightly more. Um, at number three, I have Marty Supreme. It's a sports film, but it's about so much more: pursuit of greatness, pursuit of your dreams, what really matters most in your life. It's a great screenplay, but the two ahead of it are better in my opinion. At number two, I have Sentimental Value, and you can argue this should be number one. You really can. My goodness, what a screenplay! The themes at hand, how it's gave to you narratively is terrific, perfect. Joachim Trier does a brilliant job, and so does the rest of the writing room. At number one, though, I have Sinners. And listen, this might be controversial to a lot of people, but I have Sinners winning this category. That's who I would give the award to, and that's who I have winning this category this Sunday. Listen, I know this screenplay is ridiculously similar to a lot of horror films, The Thing, and specifically Dusk Till Dawn. But man, this film is about so much more than being a horror film. It is so much more than being a vampire film, and the fact that a horror slash vampire film is nominated for Best Original Screenplay is just super telling. It is more than a horror film. It is more than a vampire film. It's about culture. It's about where you come from. It's just terrific. It's hard to make a vampire film, a horror film, more than just a vampire film, more than just a horror film. And this film does that effortlessly while also just dominating those horror elements and those vampire elements of the film that it is. Not only would I give the Best Original Screenplay award to Sinners, I think that's exactly what's going to happen on Sunday. So I think Sinners is going to win this award this upcoming Sunday. Now, moving on to the juicy categories. Here on out, it is juicy, it is controversy. Let's start with supporting actress. Now, this is stacked to the goddamn brim. Here are the following nominees. We have Tiana Taylor for One Bad After Another, Wunmi Mosaku for Sinners, Amy Madigan for Weapons, Igna Ipsdottir Lilias for Sentimental Value, and Ella Fanning for Sentimental Value as well. So Sentimental Value has 2 supporting actress nominees. Ella Fanning does such a great job in Sentimental Value that she gets a nomination for being in a majorly Norwegian film. She is so good in this film, and she's such a highlight in this film. She plays the character of being a fish out of water so perfectly. I mean, that's what her character is. She knows she's not right for the role that Gustav Borg wants her to play, and she's finally realizing that at the end of this film. She brings a lot to this role, and she gives a great performance, in my opinion, her career best performance. The more and more I watch Ella Fanning, the more I come away impressed with her. She is such a great choice here in this film. I love her role in this film so much. Just such a truly underrated and beautiful performer, and she showcases that in this film. She is terrific. I love Ella Fanning in Sentimental Value. But then we also have Igna Ipsdottir Lilias in this film. Hopefully I'm saying that's right. I don't want to embarrass myself. I looked up how to pronounce that name, and that's the best I can do with that name. Igna Ipsdottir Lilias is terrific in Sentimental Value, but I don't think she's amongst the top 4 best performances in this category. She's very good, but in my opinion, she gets overshadowed by Ella Fanning and Renate in that film. But I don't want to misconstrue what I'm saying here about her performance. She is great in Sentimental Value. She's a key part of Sentimental Value. That moment when she finally explodes on her father is terrific. It is gripping, but she's overshadowed in that movie. Another performance in this category I want to talk about is Amy Madigan as Aunt Gladys in Weapons. One of the most iconic horror antagonists that we've had in a while. She is so great in this film, so polarizing, so scary, and there's a lot to her character that Amy Madigan just brilliantly brings out. I love her character so much. And then we have Wunmi Mosaku, who is one of the better performances in Sinner. Polarizing, captivating, confident. There's so much to performance that seems so grounded and so real, even though the story that we are watching unfold in Sinners is so out of the ordinary. I love Wunmi Mosaku in this film. She is terrific in this film. I love Wunmi Mosaku's performance in this film. One of the biggest takeaways from that film, in my opinion, when I think about performances in that film, the first performance that comes to mind isn't Michael B. Jordan. And that's not an insult, because I think Michael B. Jordan is very good in that film, but I think Wunmi Mosaku is better than him in that film. I think Jack O'Connell's better than him in that film. I think Delroy Lindo's better in that film. Wunmi Mosaku as Annie is generally terrific and one of the biggest takeaways in this film, and she's rightfully nominated here for supporting actress. And then the last performance we have to talk about, and my personal favorite performance in this category, Tiana Taylor as Perfidia. In One Battle After Another, polarizing, captivating, the best cinematic presence in this category. Her character in One Battle After Another is so sexy, but so scary, so reckless. And she's someone that's definitely looking for the reason why she's so into this revolution and why she's doing what she's doing. She is super sexy as Perfidia, super dangerous, super reckless, and is really one of the most captivating performances you will see, especially over the past 5 years or so. She's only on the screen for about 20, 25, 30 minutes, and you walk away after watching 2 hours and 40 minutes of One Battle for Another with Tiana Taylor at the forefront of your mind, possibly. She's terrific in One Battle After Another. So, if I had to rank this category, here is how I would rank this category personally. At number 5, I would have Igna Eustáquio-Elias. At number 4, I would have Ella Fanning. At number 3, I have Wunmi Mosaku for Sinners. Number 2, I have Amy Madigan, Weapons. And number 1, I would have Tiana Taylor, One Battle After Another. Now, Amy Madigan has been getting most of the supporting actress victories in the recent award shows leading up to the Oscars, but I truly think we are going to get Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. So if I had a choice, I would give the award to Tiana Taylor. And that's what I think this award is going to go to. Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. Would not be surprised at all if Amy Madigan won this award, because she's been winning the awards leading up to the Oscars. Moving on to supporting actor. Here are the following nominees. Benicio del Toro, One Battle After Another. Jacob Elordi, Frankenstein. Delroy Lindo, Sinners. Sean Penn, One Battle After Another. And Stellan Skarsgård, Sentimental Value. Man, oh man, what a category. Benicio del Toro is who I would rank at number 5. Not the best supporting actor performance in that film, but he's really great as Sensei in this film. So funny and so confident. Such a brave performance. Such a captivating one. He's brilliant in One Battle for Another, but he's not the best supporting actor performance in that film. Jacob Elordi, I would rank at number 4, just in my preference. He is terrific in Frankenstein. Probably the best part of Frankenstein. It's a role I didn't think he could pull off, and he pulls it off almost effortlessly. But clearly there's a lot of effort that went into that character, so I can't say effortlessly fully, but he is really great as Frankenstein. He is the major takeaway for me when I watch Frankenstein. At number 3, me personally, I would have Stellan Skarsgård. Stellan Skarsgård's performance in Sentimental Value reeks of reality. It reeks of humanity. It reeks of imperfection, and it reeks of a dad who regrets not being a father to his kids, but yet he's still worrying about his kids because he still loves them. Even though he wasn't there for his kids when they were growing up, he knows he can't change that, but man, he wants to be with them for as long as he's on this earth for the rest of his days. And you get that. Even without the story fully telling you that, that's just what you get. Even though he's caused them trauma, even though he was a horrible dad, even though he wasn't there for them growing up, even though he was absentee for the majority of their lives, they still love him, and he still loves them. And he wants to make a difference now, and he finally wants to collaborate with his daughter for his upcoming new feature film. He is terrific in Sentimental Value, one of the biggest highlights of that film. But the 2 performances in this category are better, in my opinion. At number 2, I would have Delroy Lindo in Sinners. I mean, Delroy Lindo, in my opinion, is the best performance in Sinners. As soon as he's on the screen for the first time as Delta Slim, you are locked in, and you know this film just went from 100 to 1,000. He is batting at 1,000 in this film. So funny, iconic, and just a character that sticks with you. His storytelling, Delroy Lindo in this film, is great. When they're passing his former prisoners that he used to be in prison with, it's great. When he's telling the story about how he's on the road and he's performing for white people, and how one of his bandmates, musician partners, ended up getting hung. It's brilliant stuff. Delroy Lindo as Delta Slim is terrific, and I can't overstate that enough. In my opinion, he gives the best performance in that film, alongside Jack O'Connell. Delroy Lindo, I would not be surprised if he won this award this Sunday. And then at number 1, my personal opinion, my personal preference, I would give this award to Sean Penn in One Battle for Another for Stephen Lockjaw. I mean, I can't see anyone else playing Delta Slim. I just can't. I can't see anyone playing Stephen Lockjaw more so. Stephen Lockjaw is one of the most unique an intensely terrifying yet comedic character I've ever seen in my life. He's such a horrible person. He's morally conflicted. He wants to act like he hates minorities. He wants to act like he hates black people, but the woman that he's in love with the most is a black woman, and he's a fetishizer. He's a whole bunch of horrible things. He's orchestrating incidents in Mexican towns just so he has excuse to eliminate his past. A terrific performance, and to be honest with you, I think it's the most captivating performance here and the best performance here, and I think he gets the award because he deserves it. There is no better supporting actor performance than Sean Penn in One Bite After Another. Just a career-defining performance, especially in the late stages of his career that he is currently in. So, I would give this award to Sean Penn, and I think that's who this award is going to go to, but I would not be surprised if either Delroy Lindo or Stellan Skarsgård win this award, because they both were terrific in their respective films. But I think this award is going to go to Sean Penn, and that's who I would personally give it to. Moving on, this is probably the easiest category alongside Best Cinematography to predict, and this category is Best Actress. Now, I'm excluding Kate Hudson's performance in Song Sung Blue. She is nominated in this category. I haven't seen Song Sung Blue. Throw tomatoes at me, call me a fraud, but I haven't seen Song Sung Blue. So excluding her performance, here is how I would rank this category and its nominees. At number 4, I would have Renate Reinsve. It's just a dominant category, and I think the 3 performances ahead of her are just that much better. But at the same time, I can't go without saying that her and Joachim Trier are amongst the best duos in film right now, and she is one of the most humane actresses in the world of film. And the roles that she's asking to play are super hard, intense roles, and she pulls off those roles effortlessly. She's brilliant in sentimental value, so much to her character, so much depth, so much layers to her character, and she gives a gripping performance. But sadly for her, there are 3 performances this year that are that much better, but she will get her Oscar one day. I guarantee that, probably in the near future. I'm curious to see what she does down the line. At number 3, I have Emma Stone, Begonia. She won't be getting her 3rd Oscar this Oscar ceremony, but man, she's brilliant in Begonia. One of her most amazing performances. I think the best performance of her career is La La Land, but man, oh man, she is gripping in Begonia. She's terrifying. She is something else in this film, really. She gets more and more unique, more and more outstanding, more and more herself, and she just keeps on expanding upon the brilliant acting capabilities that she has. She is ruthless in this film, and she dominates the screen time that she has in this film. And her and Jesse Plemons dominate this film quite a bit. She is brilliant in Begonia. She is so goddamn interesting in Begonia, and even though you kind of know what is going to happen with her character, her performance doesn't skip a beat at all. And number 2, the second best performance in this category, in my opinion, has to be Rose Byrne in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, directed by Mary Bronstein. This is a career-defining performance from Rose Byrne. I was not familiar with Rose Byrne's game. She's interesting in Insidious, a couple other films throughout her career, but I didn't know she had this in her bag. This film is a vehicle to pretty much display how great she is as an actress, and she doesn't miss a goddamn beat. This film reminded me so much of Beau's Afraid, and if that tells you anything, that is a hard role to pull off, and she does it. This film is so anxiety-inducing, and Rose Byrne just completely doesn't miss a beat. She completely portrays the struggles of her character brilliantly. She plays a mother who's going through certain truths, harsh realities, all while her life is crashing and collapsing more and more each and every day. Though we understand her hardships, she's a morally complex and flawed character, but first and foremost, she is humane. I was more than captivated by Rose Byrne here. She is brilliant. Not too many actresses in the world of film that I can see playing this role other than Rose Byrne. Moving on to who I think is the easy winner in this category. One of the best performances I've ever seen in my life. A ground-shattering performance. I have Jessie Buckley winning for Hamnet as Agony. This film made me feel, and that's mostly due to Jessie Buckley's performance. Jessie Buckley's performance legitimately makes you forget that you're watching a film. There are emotions pulled off by Jessie Buckley. Even if you haven't experienced these emotions, even if you don't know someone that's experienced the emotions that Agony is experiencing, they just feel so incredibly real and so incredibly earthly. It is a performance to witness. It is a performance to be in awe of, and Jessie Buckley in Hamnet is a performance of a lifetime, and it is a stamping performance for Jessie Buckley. She can probably do whatever she wants for the rest of her career due to this performance and due to her Oscar win that's going to be given to her on Sunday. If it isn't given to Jessie Buckley, it is a robbery, but Jessie Buckley's going to win this category with ease. Jessie Buckley, one of the most ground-shattering performances I've ever seen in my life. She should win the Oscar this year, and that's who I would give the award to. Moving on to the last 3 categories of this video. If you made this far in the video, leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe right here, right now, so I can see that you were here. Now, we are moving on to Best Actor. Here are the nominees: Michael B. Jordan, Timothée Chalamet, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ethan Hawke, and Wagner Moura. Here is how I would rank this category personally. By performance, obviously, not by what they've done outside of acting. At number 5, I legitimately have Michael B. Jordan. Let me get this off my chest here. I love Sinners. I'm a big fan of Michael B. Jordan. He is great, very good in Sinners, but when I walked away from Sinners, my first thought wasn't how great Michael B. Jordan was. I was actually thinking of Delroy Lindo, Wunmi Mosaku, and the filmmaking and the original score, and then I thought of Michael B. Jordan. He is not the best performance in Sinners, and he's not amongst the best performances of the year in film, in my opinion, especially by an actor. Michael B. Jordan isn't the major takeaway from Sinners, especially when you consider the other performances in that film by other actors, specifically Delroy Lindo and Miles Canton, who gives a brilliant film debut performance. People are giving this award to Michael B. Jordan because he played twins in Sinners. By the way, the twins aren't that distinct in mannerisms and dialogue. They aren't that distinct from each other. So much so that they had to separate them in likeness with colors of clothing. So listen, Michael B. Jordan is very good in Sinners, but he isn't the best actor in this category, and he doesn't give the best performance in this category. And if he wins this award, I don't know what to think. I would think it's a robbery because there are 4 much better performances in this category, in my opinion. At number 4, I have Wagner Moura. Wagner Moura is terrific in The Secret Agent. There isn't a bad performance in this category, but the 4 ahead of Michael B. Jordan, in my opinion, are much, much, much better performances. Wagner Moura plays 2 different roles in this film, but man, there's a realness to his character that is incredible. And yet there's a subtle, charismatic nature to this character, the coolness to his character, and the mystery and the intrigue of his character is phenomenal. And that's really due to the great writing of his character, but mostly due to the great performance of Wagner Moura. Wagner Moura is terrific in The Secret Agent, and he's one of the main reasons why that film works so much. Wagner Moura is terrific in The Secret Agent, but I think the 3 performances in this category are better than him. Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon. Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon is such a slept-on performance. It could have been so annoying, but it's not, because Ethan Hawke is that talented and that polarizing and that captivating and that goddamn unique as a performer. He pulls off this character that talks so goddamn much in this film, and he makes him such a fascinating one. Ethan Hawke as Lorenz Hart is terrific in Blue Moon. That can't be overstated enough, but the 2 performances ahead of him in this category are that much better in my opinion. At number 2, I would not be surprised if he won this award, because honestly it's one of the toughest roles he's played in his luxurious career. But at number 2, I have Leonardo DiCaprio as Bob in One Battle After Another. A terrific performance. He's so funny. He's so inept. And he's clearly a washed-up revolutionary. But goddamn it, every second he is on the screen, he is dominating. So funny. It's such a different performance to anything he's ever played before in his career. And that says a whole lot because Leonardo DiCaprio has a long, luxurious career. Leonardo DiCaprio's Bob is terrific in this film. But the performance ahead of him, and that I have winning this award, is that much better of a performance in my opinion. And that is Marty Mauser, aka Timothée Chalamet. In my opinion, this is a no-brainer. Not only is Timothée Chalamet due, but Timothée Chalamet gives the best performance of the year as Marty Mauser. A morally complex character. He is a ping pong player, for Christ's sakes. And Timothée Chalamet just makes you care about Marty Mauser, a ping pong player from New York City, who's a fuck-up, who's a bad human being, who's a con artist. But at the end of the film, you are rooting for Marty Mauser. A lot of that is due to the great storytelling and the great writing of a great script that is Marty Supreme. But most of that is due to how great and charismatic and unique Timothy Chalamet is as Marty Mauser. We are facing a mass psychosis problem recently with this whole ballet and opera controversy that has seemingly been the lead up to the Oscars and might have cost Timothy Chalamet his chance at the Oscar. Or if he somehow wins it still, he might get booed at the Oscars for some bullshit ass reason. This is why artists aren't authentic anymore. Because when they're authentic, when they're saying their own opinion, and the opinion that Timothy Chalamet said isn't the wrong one. He was just saying he doesn't want film to die off like similar arts, like the opera and ballet, to the point where no one cares anymore. That's all he was trying to say. And then Nathan Lane comes out and says, well, no one cares about ping pong. Well, a lot of people seemingly did because it crossed $200 million at the box office. Everyone being this angry at Timothy Chalamet is so crazy. Like, what are we talking about? Why do you care so much about what his opinion is? And honestly, the opinion isn't wrong at all. He just had the gall to say it. He had the balls to say it. He had the balls to be his authentic self. It's insane to me, and it's been driving me crazy. And it's crazy how people misunderstood his statement, and it's crazy how people misunderstood that whole interview. If you just watched that whole interview, you would understand what he was saying, what he was trying to say. Instead, you watch a little tidbit or you read the quote from the interview from someone's tweet that went viral, and now that's your opinion. Timothy Chalamet is getting freaking blacklisted from mass audiences and seemingly big stars like Nathan Lane and Jamie Lee Curtis because of his opinion. That was the right opinion, and he just had the gall to say it. Pretty insane, a lot of virtue signaling going on, and in my opinion, it's disrespectful to Timothy Chalamet because he is a clear artist, he's a clear performer, and he's clearly someone that cares a lot about art. It's insane to me, it's disrespectful, it's really sickening to me, to be quite honest with you guys. But Timothy Chalamet should win this award. He just should. He was the best performance all year. And when I saw all these films, when I saw the last film I needed to see in this category, I just knew Timothy Chalamet was the best performance in this category. No one gave a performance quite like his. He learned how to play ping pong, for Christ's sakes. And he looks like a goddamn ping pong professional athlete in this film. And he makes you care about a ping pong player while being a morally corrupt and morally bankrupt human being. But then he realizes who he really is after achieving his dream. Marty Supreme is a great film about pursuing greatness, about pursuing your dreams. But the character we have to follow is insufferable. And he is goddamn sickening at times. But you still end up rooting for him. And that's due to Timothy Chalamet and how great he is. Timothy Chalamet should win the Oscar. It should be his first Oscar. And it's not going to be his last because that's how talented he is. He is the best actor in the world of film right now. And he should be given that respect. And he should be given that award this upcoming Sunday. If you disagree with that, that is fine. But there's no way in hell Michael B. Jordan gives a better performance in Sinners than Timothy Chalamet gives in Marty Supreme. There's just no chance in hell that is the case. That's just how I feel. So, that was my soliloquy. That was my opinions about that whole debacle. Now we move on to the final two categories of this video, Best Director and Best Picture. I'll save the best for last. Let's get the Best Director out the way. Here are the 5 nominees. We have Chloe Zhao, Josh Safdie, Paul Thomas Anderson, Joachim Trier, and Ryan Coogler. Here is how I would personally rank the nominees in this category. At number 5, I have Josh Safdie. It's nothing against him. He does a brilliant job directing this film. But when I think about the film, I don't necessarily think about the filmmaking first. I think about the story being told, and I think about the performances. So I have him at number 5 here. I think he has no chance, especially with the controversies that surrounded him before this upcoming ceremony this Sunday. At number 4, I have Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value. Terrific filmmaker. Little to no flaws in Sentimental Value. He's going to win an Oscar one day, hopefully soon. At number 3, I have Chloe Zhao, Hamnet. Little to no flaws for Hamnet. She definitely has an argument to win this category, to win this award, but she recently just won the Best Director award. So I think it isn't her time again yet, and I think the 2 ahead of her are really close to winning it this upcoming Sunday. At number 2, though, I have Ryan Coogler for Sinners. Just an anomaly, the film that he made. He made a vampire film that is more than just a vampire film, and he pulled that off effortlessly. And he did a terrific job with Sinners. and he is easily the biggest takeaway from that film. Just the filmmaking, the creativity, the homages paid. Great film, entertaining and beautiful at the same time. I loved it. But a man who hasn't won an Oscar yet, a man who probably should have won more than one Oscar, yet he's won zero. He is more than due. He's finally going to get the award that he deserves. Paul Thomas Anderson is the winner for this category for me. And not only do I think he should win it, I think he actually is going to win it this Sunday. I think Paul Thomas Anderson wins this award in this category. Another anomaly made with this film. Just great filmmaking from top to bottom. There are roads filmed in this film in ways I've never seen before. The car chases in this film are incredible. The staging of everything, the blocking, how the camera follows specific actors and specific sequences. The car chases specifically are insane and captivating and enthralling. And Paul Thomas Anderson is a master at work. This is one of his best works, and he hasn't been acknowledged by the Academy yet. He's won 0 Oscars. That will change this Sunday with him winning Best Director. It should be him. I would not be surprised if Ryan Coogler won, because Sinners is nominated for 16 awards, and I assume he is going to be in the top 2 finalists for this category. But moving on to the final award and the most prestigious award of the night, we have Best Picture. Here are the following nominees. We have Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. Now, this won't take too long, but I will be ranking this list by the ratings I gave it, and I'm going to tell you who I think should win this award, and then I will tell you who I think is going to win the award this Sunday. At number 10 on this list, a film I really did not like. I gave it a 3 out of 5, a 6 out of 10. Wasn't a fan of this film at all, really. I have Frankenstein. Just didn't work for me. Best thing about this film was easily Jacob Elordi's Frankenstein, the production design, and the costume design. A great film to look at from that standpoint, but besides that, I wasn't a huge fan of this film at all. I thought it was quite a bore. At number 9, I have F1. I saw this film, and I was like, man, this film is terrific. I love this film. And then I thought about it, and I watched it again. I'm like, I'm not like the biggest fan of this film, but it is really fun. It is really exciting, and it is a goddamn good watch. But I don't love it as much as I did once. I originally gave it a 5 out of 5, but since rewatching it, I gave it a 4 out of 5, which is still a great score. 8 out of 10. One of the best sports movies you will see, especially in the past 5 years or so. That's my number 9. At number 8, I have Begonia. A terrific film, but it's not a 5 out of 5 for me. The story is really interesting. I just think it kind of doesn't nail the ending totally for me. But I think Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, and Yorgos are all great, respectively. I even think Aiden Delpis in his film debut is terrific, as well as Don. I like this film quite a bit. Definitely one of the best films of the year, but amongst my favorites of the year, not at all, in my opinion. At number 7, I have The Secret Agent. A great film. The more and more I think about this film, the more and more I love it. It feels like a classic. It looks like a classic. I love the aroma of this film. I love the essence of this film. And I love what this film is trying to say. And it informs me about an era in Brazil that I had no clue about. I love how this film blends reality, fiction, and surrealism. I love it. I love the characters in this film. I love how distinct this cast is. I love the filmmaking. A terrific, terrific film. And the more I think about it, the more I love it. A 4.5 out of 5 for me. I really, really, really enjoyed this film. An 88 out of 90 out of 100. I love this film quite a bit. At number 6, I have Sentimental Value. Joachim Trier. He's going to win his Oscar one day. This isn't the year. Renate Reinsve is also going to win an Oscar one day. This isn't her year. A terrific film about trauma, trying to get over past, trying to forgive. I love this film. It's about family trauma. It's about forgiveness, or at least trying to forgive. And it's about moving on and forgiving those that are closest to you while also not forgetting. I love this film a lot, a lot, a lot. The more I think about that film, the more I love it. At number 5, I have Train Dreams. The best looking film of the year. Underrated performance after underrated performance. Joel Edgerton is great. William H. Macy is great. Felicity Jones is a great film about so much, and it's the best looking film of the year. Splendid film. A film that had my jaw dropping at every second, and it easily has the best cinematography of the year. Little to no flaws in this film. Every film from here on out is a 5 out of 5, which isn't exactly 100 out of 100, but it's about a 94 and above, or maybe even 100 out of 100. So keep that in mind. At number 4, I have Sinners. Listen, this very well can win Best Picture. It is nominated for 16 Oscars, for Christ's sake, but I think the 3 films ahead of Sinners are just better. They broke the floor for me a lot more. I know I said this a lot in this video, but it's a vampire film that's a lot more than a vampire film. It's about so much more. Ryan Coogler, this is his magnum opus up until this point. He is probably going to do way better films, but this is a 5 out of 5 for me, like a 95, 96 out of 100 for me. It's a great film, great performances, great storytelling, incredibly unique scene after incredibly unique scene. Just tremendous. From the opening sequence to the ending sequence to the end credit, I was floored by this film in every which way. One of the great theater experiences of the year, and Ryan Coogler, if he wasn't already, he put himself on the map with this film, and he's probably going to get a film in the upcoming future that has an endless budget due to this film. I love Sinners, but it is the 4th best picture in this category, in my opinion. At number 3, I have Hamnet. This film transcends the art of film to me. This felt like real life in a lot of different ways while watching this film, while experiencing it. When you watch this film, especially if you watch it in the theater, there was like this communal feeling that you had with everyone else in the audience, where you are just intensely in the moment, following the characters of Agni, following the characters of Will. Even if you didn't experience the traumas that Agni and Will experienced, those are the type of traumas you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy, and those are the type of traumas that you immensely feel, even if it didn't happen to you closely or happen to you personally. So I love Hamnet, and I would not be surprised if this film won Best Picture this weekend. But I think the 2 films ahead of this were better, personally, in my opinion. I think Mari Supreme is the 2nd best film of the year. It's a ping pong film. It's a great sports film, while also being about a whole lot more the pursuit of greatness. What will you do to achieve your dream? How toxic will you get? How morally bankrupt will you get? How much of a con artist would you become? But at the end of the day, can you make me root for you? Can you root for someone that's so morally bankrupt, so wrongfully fueled by the wrong things, but also by the things that he wants to accomplish in his life? Can you find a way to root for him? This film makes you root for a character that is morally corrupt, while also making that character realize what is right and what he truly wants to do with his life, which is be a father, which is be attentive for the first time in his life to something other than ping pong. And I think not only does this film have the best performance of the year, but it has a great cast, and the editing and the filmmaking that went into the making of Mari Supreme is off the charts. Terrific story, terrific storytelling, and great sequences. The ping pong matches in Mari Supreme are absurd, especially the last one. It is gripping like an actual sporting event. Not only is that a major props to the filmmaking, but it's a major props to the 2 actors in that scene, Timothée Chalamet and the Japanese man that is in that film, whose name I forget at the moment. But the best film of the year has to be One Battle After Another. Just has to be. Not only because Paul Thomas Anderson is due for not only 1 Oscar, but 2, maybe 3 Oscars this Oscar ceremony, but there's no other film like this film that came out in 2025. Captivating, enthralling. Like I said, there are sequences in this film that I've never seen before. Like the car chases in this film. I feel like I've seen so many car chases in my life in film, and yet none of them made me feel the way that the car chases in this film made me feel like. The performances are the best of the year. Tiana Taylor, Sean Penn, Leonardo DiCaprio, amongst others perform. Chase Infinity is great as well. This film is stacked top to bottom with talent, and is stacked top to bottom with career best or arguable career best. It's a career best from Tiana Taylor. You can argue it's Leo's career best. You can argue it's Sean Penn's career best. And you can argue it's Paul Thomas Anderson's career best. I won't say that because I love Boogie Nights, and I love a couple more Paul Thomas Anderson films like There Will Be Blood. But it's really an accumulation of what Paul Thomas Anderson is as a filmmaker and what he brings to the table, and how he continuously makes terrific film after terrific film. And this right here is the breadwinner. This right here is the film that he is going to win the Oscar for, not only as Best Director, but Best Picture. This should win Best Picture. That's without a doubt. This is a classic film. It feels like a classic. It looks like a classic. And definitively is a classic. It's either a 98, 99, or 100 out of 100 for me. Like, that's how perfect this film is to me. From performance to the little minute characters in this film. Jim Downey is terrific in this film. I mean, there's so many different qualities to this film. There are so many unique things in this film that creatively are astounding. One Battle After Another should win this award, and I think it's going to win this award. But I would not be surprised if Sinners won this award, and I would not be surprised if Hamnet won this award. But I think it is Paul Thomas Anderson's time, and I think One Battle After Another wins Best Picture, and that's why I would personally give this award to. So, I'm sorry if I went on too long with this video. This is a long video, especially for my standards, but it's Oscar season, baby. The Oscars are this upcoming Sunday. So, stay tuned for that. Get ready for that. And if the Oscars are that entertaining and they go way different than my predictions here, there might be an Oscars recap, which is crazy. But either or, if I don't do an Oscars recap, next week with the video I'm releasing, I will talk about the Oscars in some capacity, or I will release like a TikTok or an Instagram reel or a YouTube short talking about the Oscars. Because listen, if it's that crazy, it's going to need to be talked about. And if something doesn't go my way like I predicted, that's going to need to be talked about. Then that's going to need to be talked about. But in the next week or so, expect a review about The Undertone, Ready or Not 2, and Project Hail Mary. You might get the Undertone review, the newest horror film review, in a short form content like TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube short. But Project Hail Mary comes out next week, alongside Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. Those two films will be reviewed on this channel in one video, so stay tuned for that. So that is the end of this video. If you made it this far in this video, leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe right here, right now on Matt Talks Films. Thank you so much for sticking around for this video. It means the world to me if you did that. I mean, if you didn't, I wouldn't be surprised at all because this is a long video. But man, oh man, it's Oscar season. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for hearing my opinions. Hopefully I wasn't too confusing. Hopefully I was coherent. Let me know if you agree with my Oscar predictions. Let me know if you agree with my overall opinion about the Oscars, meaning separating my predictions, if you agree with who I think should win the award, not who I think is going to win the award, if that makes sense to you guys. Hopefully that makes sense, but let me know in the comments who you think is going to win Best Actor, who's going to win Best Director, who's going to win Best Picture, because that would mean a lot to me. So, it is your boy, Matt Talks Films. Thank you for sticking around for this video if you did, and I will see you next time, probably around Thursday night, probably around Friday night. I will see you then.